Global markets are expected to remain volatile as investors digest the impact of the growing trade war between the US and China. So Edward Boyd, our business reporter, was here to explain. So this week's that huge sell-off, Ed.
Massive sell-off.
Then you got a recovery. Volatile likely to be the new normal.
It's going to be the new normal for a long period of time now, Pete. Just at the end of trade yesterday on the ASX 200, the market dived just as China was announcing its retaliatory tariffs on American goods. They're actually, in a way, going to benefit Australia because it basically increases the cost of coal, oil and LNG gas for the US. So
they can come to us.
They can come to us. So Aussie companies like that are probably going to do really well in the stock market today. There'll be a lot of buying into the likes of Whitehaven Coal, potentially Origin Energy, potentially AGL as well. So all the big utilities are probably going to go up today. But this volatility is going to hang around for a long period of time. Clearly, Trump and President Xi Jinping haven't had that phone conversation yet, as far as I'm aware. These tariffs are clearly a bargaining chip that Trump's already used successfully with Canada and with Mexico. I don't know if China's going to be as easy to deal with as those two countries. And if China's economy starts to fall again, we saw what happened during 2020 and COVID. It impacted our economy as well because we rely so much on selling their goods, selling our iron ore to them and things like that. And if they stop buying as much products from us, it's going to affect our economy.
Yeah, so when we get about the conversation about interest rate cuts at the next RBA meeting, what's probably not getting a lot of attention, at least in the mainstream anyway, you might disagree, Ed, but when you're talking about the China story, when you're talking about the stock market, when you're talking about our dollar, which is almost in the 50s when it comes to the US dollar, how much does that factor into Michelle Bullock's thinking in terms of, hey, we might just have to leave things for a couple of months, guys?
Look, I think the Reserve Bank is still going to be cutting rates, despite what's happening between the US and China. But most press conferences last year, there was usually one question to Michelle Bullock around geopolitical risk, and she would always talk about the threat of China's economy slowing down even more, because it hasn't had a great few 4 or 5 years now, China's economy. It hasn't really picked up yet. And if it's now getting hit with more tariffs from America of 10% slapping on all of their goods, it's going to cause them to put the brakes on again, potentially. So it is obviously something Michelle Bullock and the RBA board will be looking at closely, and her whole team. But I still think markets are really pricing in a rate cut, and I think the Reserve Bank will still cut rates.
All right, so what do we got? 13 days to go. It's like a rocket launch countdown.
Countdown's on.
Appreciate it, Ed. Talk to you again soon.